Hello everyone! After having spent some time back home in Europe and Axel fully recovered after his hernia operation, we are excited to be back in Australia and to share more about our wonderful project, Building Wilda. In case this is the first time you're watching, Vilda is a Schionning Wilderness 1340 sailing catamaran that has spent too many years in a shed in Australia without being finished. Axel bought the boat in 2019 and since then, with COVID, jobs and everything in between, we managed to make a few trips down under and made some progress on the build. Of course, with a massive project like this one, we are not yet done. But we are pushing forward and we do hope that sometime soon we will be out there on the water. In case we manage to spark your interest to find out more about building Wilda, what changes we made on the boat and how did it go, do have a look at our previous videos to see where we started and where we are now. Hi everyone! Last week on Building Wilda, we glassed the stanchions for the handrails to the deck and then we started fairing them in our attempt to make them look pretty. As usual, the fairing job is not a one-time quick exercise. It takes some patience, some sanding, some filling, some detailed work, some more sanding, some reviewing of the progress, some pinhole identification and some more fairing until the job is actually completed. And because Vilda is a catamaran, we can actually multiply everything by 2. So, in this episode, we continue fairing and sanding the stanchions in preparation for a round of primer so as to bring them to the same level of progress as the rest of the boat. We also remember that Vilda has another 10 stanchions on the deck, which would have to undergo the same fairing operation. So, we continue working on them as well. And because we can afford some time now to work on the details, we also take on another mini challenge at the aft of the boat, the swim ladder. Plus, we start working on fitting and fairing the cockpit hatches. Stay with us to see more of our progress on Building Wilda.
The stanchions are going from rough white to smooth white to rough blue. And they will hopefully be smooth white and blue later today. And then we start with all of these. Well, we'll start that before probably. Just sand these down a little bit to give them a rough surface, because what we're doing now with the shaping is purely the cosmetic. So we will try to make these look like these in shape, and that's it.
And color also.
And color probably. Yes, they will also go through the transformation pink to white to blue and then whitish blue and soft before being painted. And my plan is to paint these with a paintbrush once we are done with the sanding. So mixing a little bit of the fairing compound with a little bit of fiber in it to make it a little bit stronger, so that we can shape better. And we're getting some help today. Oh, we actually have 3 guys helping us with sanding.
Yes, and that's
which
amazing.
is amazing. Yeah. So we can concentrate on little
Details.
decorative things like this, like sculpting these stanchion bases, while the boat is automatically being sanded behind it.
Well, not quite automatically, it's still manually, but yeah, I was going to give you more.
I think I mixed too much.
I'm not sure. You don't want it too runny either.
Well, no, but
I think it's getting there. Let's see.
not too runny.
Too runny, yeah? Still need a little bit more.
I think more. Yeah, okay, yes,
I
that
think
one.
you've got
Enough fiber.
enough fiber, yes.
We're working on the stanchion bases. So from gluing these in place over 2 years ago, we're now shaping them to make them look pretty. So this is the first stage, and then they will end up similar to these bases for the aft rail. So that's one thing. While the coffee is brewing, I figure I'd show you what's going on right now. We're working on various small projects while we're actually getting some help with sanding of the interior. So what we are doing is little things that we haven't been able to get to previously.
One of those is the swim ladder, which needs some glassing to protect the wood that it was made of, so I tried to work on that. I measured the surface, checked how much fiberglass material I needed, sanded and prepped everything, made the epoxy mix and wetted out the surface and laid the fiberglass. However, I somehow managed to pick the strongest non-flexible fiberglass material for this job, so I struggled a lot to fold it nicely around the corners because the material just wouldn't surrender. I may have caused a little bit more work for Axel the next day, but oh well.
So we did a little bit of glassing yesterday and that did not turn out particularly well. So this is where the swim ladder will go. And all we really needed to do is protect this piece of plywood here on top. And I figured we'd do that with some epoxy and glass. And sadly, the glassing didn't go so well. Too thick glass to bend around these sharp corners. What I have to do is sand this down. Anywhere you have air bubbles, and yeah, patch it. It doesn't need to be strong or pretty or anything like that, but it does need to be waterproof. So this piece of ply is protected with a layer of epoxy beforehand, so it shouldn't be that bad, but I'd rather not have it rot off the boat. So some sanding and glassing back here. So this is perhaps not the prettiest piece of glasswork I've ever made or done, but on the important bits, the corners and well, all four corners here and the edges or whatever you call it, there's 2 layers of glass, thin glass, in addition to whatever was there before.
Recap, the next mini project
we're working on is getting all these cockpit
pieces of furniture.
Yes, cockpit furniture in order.
So this is our
table,
future table.
Yes.
Yes.
Slash what's it called?
Partial daybed.
Daybed, yes.
Yes.
And
so what we want to do next is to sand it, right? Well, it has been sanded at some point, but it still needs a little bit more attention, yeah. And then fair it on both sides, or do we fair it on
both sides?
Both sides.
And this may have been built a little bit too big. So all this beautiful sanding or folding of glass on the side
will be dead.
May have to be killed. And yeah, because it won't fit between. But we'll see. We'll fair the top, and then we see what we have to do.
Yes. I think fair the top, fair the bottom, and then try to fit it and see what it looks like and how far away we are.
Yeah.
Yes.
And maybe sand off 2 sides or something.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Okay, and then we have the step. This is part of the step in the cockpit.
Yes.
That needs to be sanded on the edges and on the top as well a little bit. Although I think it had some peel ply on, but okay.
Yeah. And then some sanding. Or this is the other part of the cockpit seating that goes next to this. And this is for accessing instrument panels and steering.
Yeah.
So
this is a hatch that will sit like this into the steering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Or?
Needs to be cleaned up, yeah?
Yeah.
No, you're right. Needs to be cleaned up and then flattened.
Let's
and eventually painted pink.
For fitting the deck hatches, we also got some help from Steve, one of our YouTube fans, who lives not too far from the boatyard and who drives by and gives us a hand whenever he has some spare time. It's wonderful to meet people who are so kind to help us in this way, and we highly appreciate it. Another job that we've been working on is fitting and adjusting the deck hatches and fairing them. Seeing them in white already makes a big difference, even though they do need more work, of course. But it all feels like it's slowly coming together. Do stay with us next week on Sunday to see more of building Vilda. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoy seeing our progress, do subscribe, like the video and leave a comment down below. We really love reading your feedback.